think I'm gonna do this. I got my Bernie Sanders shirt on, not an official campaign shirt, but Bernie sweatshirt. I do have an official Bernie sweatshirt, and I make the Feel the Burn videos. I'm active on Twitter, active on Reddit. I went out to a signature petition signing for Bernie to get him on the ballot in PA, and I'm just not good dealing with people. And I've been trying to decide, do I call Nevada or South Carolina? Nevada is sooner, but it looks like it could go either way. It looks like it's a tight race, so if I called, I feel like I would have more of a chance of calling someone that didn't yell at me. So that's a good thing. It's also the next one coming up, so it seems more imperative that we call there. But then South Carolina has a lot of delegates, as I understand, and that's coming up right after Nevada, so that's on the list that we got to call. And for me, it's a much shorter script to read. It's much quicker, and there's not a lot of stuff I have to say. Because as much as I have the arguments in my head, even laid out on the screen, I feel like if someone starts asking me stuff, I'm gonna blank, and I'm just gonna not leave a good impression about Bernie Sanders. I'm so nervous somebody's gonna get mad at me. Someone's gonna be a Clinton supporter and get mad that I'm calling them. They're about to have dinner, or they just got home and had a bad day and they're just going to be upset. And I know they don't have my number because I'm calling through a dialer that's going to do the calling. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I was bullied a lot in high school, and I've just never wanted to be confronted or yelled at since then. Or maybe I'm just making excuses. I don't know, I'm just very nervous. And I've been on this dialer for 8 minutes and 43, 44, 45 seconds, and I haven't called anybody yet. Huh? I did it, and then I've been reading this script over and over and over again. Let's try it again. Good evening, may I please speak to Mr. or Mrs. And like, what if I can't pronounce their last name? Or what if their first name is like Pat, something where you don't know if it's a man or female because the name is used for both genders. I don't want to offend them right away, so if I don't recognize if the first name is male or female, should I just say, hi, could I speak to Mr. and then say the full name? I don't know what I'll do in the moment. Hi, my name's Daniel. I'm a volunteer for Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. That's a mouthful. I'm for Bernie Sanders. How are you this evening? Ma'am, sir. And that's not my natural voice to say ma'am, sir at the end of a sentence like that, so I feel like I'll stumble on that. Is it okay if I just cut that out from this? Just at that part. And assuming they say I'm doing well and not saying, oh, and they hang up on me the moment I say Bernie Sanders. Wonderful. I'm not going to take much of your time. I wish I said that first, but... Oh yeah, and I think I might have modified the script a bit because I just couldn't do it. I just have a real quick question about this. All right, let's try this again from the beginning. I'm giving my own notes. Good evening. May I please speak to Mr. and Mrs. somebody? Hi, my name's Daniel. I'm a volunteer for the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. How are you this evening? Ma'am, sir. Wonderful. I'm not going to take much of your time. I just have a real quick question about the South Carolina primary coming up on February 27th. If the primary were held today, who would you vote for? Ma'am, sir. See, I'm going to cut that out. Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton? And then you're given 6 options. Do I then read these options to them? Or do I just let them say if they would vote for him? And once they say they would vote for him, then do I say, oh, now are you strongly for Bernie or leaning towards Bernie? And if they say strong Bernie, I'm supposed to say, thank you for your support, have a good night. If that's strong Bernie, do I do that for leaning Bernie also? I guess. There's no note about what I do for leaning Bernie. Undecided, I'm supposed to say, oh, I just got disconnected from the caller. Because I've been on long enough. undecided I'm supposed to say. I fully understand being undecided right now. You're not the only one, and it's still early. You can find more information about Bernie at www.berniesanders.com. Do I really have to say www? We all know that. Can I just say you can find more information about Bernie at berniesanders.com? Thank you for your time and have a great night. And if there's strong Clinton, doesn't say anything about leaning Clinton, I say thank you for your time and have a good night. Oh, I should have shaved. I can just feel the furs touching my lips. I gotta call in again. On an iPhone, if you've hung up and you want to call the same number, just hit the call button again. You don't have to type it in again.
Your entry does not match our records. Please enter your PIN, then pound. You are now connected.
It still says I'm connected for 12 minutes. Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. What if I don't understand them? I just don't want them to yell at me, or if it's confusing, or if they start asking me information. They like Bernie and they're asking me information. I'm gonna blink. Oh God. I clicked ready. Hi, could I please speak to, please? Hi, good evening. May I please speak to, please? I'm marking no answer. I'm waiting for the next call to go through. They say it can take upwards of a minute. First number was silent. Hi. Hi, I'm sorry, I hope I did not butcher your last name there. I apologize. My name's Daniel. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. My name's Daniel. I'm a volunteer for the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. How are you this evening? I'm doing great, thank you. I don't want to take much of your time. I just have a very quick question about the South Carolina primary coming up on February 27th. If the primary were held today, who would you vote for? Would it be Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton? Neither. Okay. Well, I thank you very much for your time and have a great evening. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay. So I'm going to say strong other. Because he said neither. I don't see... At least he was nice, even though I butchered his last name. I'm sweating. Hi, yes, may I please speak to... Hi, yes, my name is Daniel. I'm a volunteer with the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. How are you this evening? Okay, I totally understand. All right, thank you. She doesn't give a shit about the politicians, so I'm going to say do not call. I don't give a shit about the politicians. I think the name... Now that I'm realizing it, I just looked at the last name. I went directly to the last name, but as I was hanging up, I saw a different name. Good evening. May I please speak to... I'm sorry, hello? Say no answer. Why are so many calls silent like that? Good evening. May I please speak to... hello? Hello? Said no answer again. If they don't pick up, what am I supposed to repeat the exact same line again like a robot? Or do I say hello like I start to become more human? Good evening. May I please speak to... Caller is canceled. I guess I'll say no answer. I mean, there's not home... Oh, is it refused? It's not really refused. They just hung up. I don't know what that means. I'm going to say no answer. They should have tell us specifically what happens when it's just silent. I guess that's what no answer is. Because the beep means they've picked up. I clicked no answer there. That was an answering machine. I'm not supposed to leave a message. Oh, I feel nauseous. Good evening. May I please speak to... hello? Click no answer. Good evening. May I please speak... Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a volunteer for the Democratic presidential candidate, Bernie Sanders. How are you this evening? And hung up. Does that mean they refused? Does that mean... Is that their way of saying don't call? Do I say refused? It was him said speaking. I'm gonna say refused, I guess. I hope I'm not choosing the wrong thing. I don't wanna, block off a person's house that could vote for Bernie by clicking refused, and then, which is telling a canvasser don't go to their house. I don't want to mislead them, but I also don't want to say no answer. Then that means somebody else is going to call them and probably get them more pissed off. So what do? Do I risk pissing them off more? Do I risk them not being seen by canvasser? I'm going to do refused because I haven't done that yet. I'm going to do refused. Hi, good evening. May I please speak to... No answer. We only have like 20% support down here. Good evening. May I please speak to... Hi, good evening. It sounds like they're hanging up. So it sounds like they were listening to me. I have my volume up. And I've heard other people. Hi, could I please speak to... Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a volunteer for the Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. How are you this evening? You won't? Okay, no problem. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm muted. She didn't say Clinton, though. She didn't say Clinton. But it was strongly not Clinton. Strongly not Bernie, so I'm going to do strong other. Hi, could I please speak to, hello? Uh, the voice. And they've heard me. People have responded to me, so my microphone's working. Good evening. May I please speak to... Please? She's not in? Okay, no problem. Well, thank you very much for your time. Right. Bye-bye. So, I've heard some people start talking to that person instead, whoever picked up, but I haven't seen that that's what I'm supposed to do. So I'm just saying not home. I mean, the option is there, not home. I would assume to know that they're not home, the person doing the calling has to have talked to somebody who said they're not home. And so obviously it seems like I wouldn't talk to that other person because the other person would say they're not home. Alright, I'm pausing this. This is intense. This is extremely intense. It's a 20-minute video. I hit not ready, so it stopped. And this is on mute. Let me unmute it. Yeah. So that's what I sound like talking to real people.